What's going on? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great week. Today we got a moon-shaped pool by Radiohead. So we've been going through a lot of their discography. I've done OK Computer, In Rainbows, and Kid A. All have been really, really great to listen to because I was not familiar with Radiohead at all before that. And I've been reading through the comments. I really read every comment that's been left. I appreciate everything everyone's been saying. You've been helping me understand a lot more about the band or lyrics or just certain tidbits here and there. So that's been really cool. But as far as recommendations for the next thing to listen to, A Moon-Shaped Pool was the next one that came up kind of by far. So I said, let's give this one a shot here. This is another one I'm going into really, really blind. All I know about it is I believe it's their newest studio album. And so that's all I know. This is the first time I'm seeing the artwork for this album, for example. I see it came out in 2016. Kind of surprised they haven't dropped anything in a while. But yeah, I think we're just going to get right into it here. So looks like we got a couple music videos like normal. We're just not going to watch those. I kind of just want to focus on the music for the most part. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let me get the lyrics pulled up here, and we'll go ahead and get started with Burn the Witch. Really heavy strings to start. Heavy as in high in the mix. Pleasant groove to this so far. It's crazy, the high-pitched noise. Wow. All right, didn't know we were going to get so orchestral to start this. Definitely setting the tone for the album here. Kind of a more unique vibe that I haven't... Not that I haven't heard this vibe from them. I feel like I haven't heard the strings be that heavy and high in the mix and so prominent to start a song, let alone the album. So pretty cool so far. Something different. So let's see where it goes. I really do like the tempo of this one. Getting intense. God, became a fucking horror movie for a second there, huh? Okay, that's Burn the Witch. I mean, I guess that's kind of reflected. These aren't like fun lyrics, right? Cheer at the gallows. Um, Burn the witch, we know where you live. Red crosses on wooden doors. Abandon all reason, avoid all eye contact, do not react. Shoot the messengers. Yeah, that was a pretty intense opening song, but like even though the strings got kind of crazy there, I did appreciate the tempo of it, like I was saying. It just, I don't know, kind of had a good vibe, a good knock to it. But yeah, super orchestral. It's unrelenting with that. That was a pretty fun opening track. Definitely not like one of my favorite Radiohead tracks or anything. But I have a feeling that's one that might grow on me the more I kind of get used to it and kind of live with it. That's how it's been with a lot of their music so far. Like I was going back through OK Computer and I'm liking that album a lot more as the more listens I give it, you know. So I think this track would be kind of something similar, but it's a pretty cool opening track here. Okay, cool. Let's see where we go next here. It looks like we got Daydreaming up next, so let's give that a shot. Oh, let me get the lyrics up. There we go. I always love spacey ambient intros like this. This is super pretty. As I pointed out before, I love when they do those little steps down. Whoa. Oh wow, I really like that change. Yeah, very haunting track so far. That's a really cool transition here. Great vocals so far too. No surprise. This right here. That's really cool. This is one of their most stripped back tracks that I've heard. nice transition from that kind of dark, deep heaviness to this little piano lick. As always, terrific stuff going on around and in the background that add to the track. Liking this as well. Another cool build up there. These outros are crazy. Like really crazy, just scary sounding. Okay, track 2. Daydreaming. Okay. Let me pull back here for a second. Okay. Yeah, so I like that one more than track 1. Really pleasant piano and singing throughout all of it. We saw more of those strings that we were hearing and more orchestral sounds from track 1 here. Maybe that's going to be a theme with this album. But I just really liked, I had like a couple signature things that I like from Radiohead as far as the way they, like I always keep talking about if you've been watching the videos, the little nuggets they add in that add atmosphere and just like character to their tracks. They had another really incredible outro in this one, a great vocal performance. Let me pull back here a little bit. And the build up, you know? Yeah, like these build ups I love. They're just very, very cool. And this one, they break it down. Break it all the way back down. There's like a lot of different, like the library of sounds in this track is pretty large. And like I said, this is one of their more subdued tracks. It's been a really interesting start. And, you know, I'm trying not to get in the habit of like comparing this album to their others. I like, because I just think it's not fair. I think the best way to really listen to this is just listen to it as its own isolated thing. However, I do want to point out, I think it's interesting on this album, we have this really soft, or it starts soft, ballad as the second track. Because I think for most of what I've listened to so far, the first few tracks are really like bombastic. At least like the first two tend to be more bombastic and high energy. Unless I'm wrong and just misremembering, I don't think they've had a track 2 that is like this. I guess on Kid A, I don't know. But this seems even more subdued. So it's an interesting start to the album. I'm really liking it. I'm liking the soundscape being completely different from what I've heard, which doesn't have to be a thing for each album, but it just seems to be the way it's been for Radiohead so far. Yeah, another really beautiful performance. I could talk about this one for a while, but we'll keep it moving. We got Dex Dark for track 3 here, it looks like. So let's see what this is.
Then in your life there comes the darkness. There's a spacecraft blocking out the sky, and there's nowhere to hide. You run to the back and you cover your ears, but it's the loudest sound you've ever heard. And are we trapped, wrecked out class people? We are helpless to resist.
Oh wow, that bass is real warm and filling the track. Nice build up. I'm just gonna be honest here. This intro just was not really doing it for me. Like, it just wasn't exciting. But this transition into this second part is really cool. Yeah, that's very nice. Oh, cool vocals in here too. Yeah, I like the way this is building. Wow, do you hear that in the background? You know, another thing I'll point out, it's just very interesting the style they're going for on this album. It seemed like the singer hasn't really belted it like I'm used to hearing him on some of the other albums, just like the level of energy he puts into some of the other vocal performances or the weird melodies he chooses, or kind of like he could fluctuate his voice in a really interesting way in terms of like power, you know, like though he'll start the line real quiet and he brings it all the way up here. Yeah, everything's a little more subdued so far on this. We'll see how it feels once we get to the end of the album. Oh, nice. Okay, that was another pretty cool track. I didn't want to keep talking over it, but I wanted to note there was just another transition in there. There's really the two transitions. It kind of breaks it up into like three parts to this song. It's just the transitions are elite on this album so far. Like they're just, I don't know, they're just kind of interesting to me the way they're introduced, a little unorthodox. Like I can't expect it necessarily, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This is another really nice song. This is for sure one. Like I already like this, right? But I could see this one growing on me a lot as I live with it. There's just so much going on sonically and just the overall atmosphere and vibe of this. It's just stuff I tend to like. And like this, those is that like a choir? Like that's fucking insane. There's a lot going on with this one. Probably my favorite. Probably my favorite so far. As I've pointed out in the other reactions, I like when the songs kind of take a bit of a journey. Like they don't stay on one idea for too long. And I mean, this definitely has like a thread throughout all of it, right? But it's a really interesting track. Yeah, I think that one might be my favorite of the three so far, especially as I live with it and grow with it. Yeah, I was going to point out too, the drums are another part that are really subdued in this, and definitely a really piano heavy album so far. I'm liking that. Huh. Yeah, this is not what I expected this album to sound like, but I think I've said that in at least two of their albums so far, so I think that might just be a thing with them. Yeah, that's a really cool track. Okay, what do we got next here? Desert Island Disc. Oh, also, I haven't really been paying attention to the lyrics for this one. Just, because I've been looking at their other albums and I haven't been doing a great job of deciphering the overall meaning besides like the super obvious lines. If you guys want to point out in the comments what these songs are about, definitely when I go and revisit them, I do consider what was said in the comments and kind of revisit and appreciate the songs more with a different perspective on them. But just for this first listen, I kind of want to get wrapped up in the musicality of it all rather than the lyrics. So, okay, Desert Island Disc is what we got next here. Let's go. Okay, one of the more guitar forward starts we've had so far. Pretty riff. Oh, God. I didn't even think that was part of the song. It freaked me out. A lot of weird shit going on right now in my ears. But they're keeping this groove going. Another change there with the drums that's just it's just not predictable to me. The way that sound effect ended was pretty sudden. Desert Island Disc. Okay, probably my least favorite one so far. And my caveat always with that is like Radiohead doesn't have bad songs. I don't think that's a bad song. It's just, I don't know. From shut down from 1,000 years of sleep. Yeah, it's just okay. It just doesn't hit me crazy. But it was pleasant. I liked the guitar riff in that one. There again, switch things up with the interesting transitions and the weird effects that we have going on in the background. Again, with more of that subdued vocal performance. I did like how his voice sounded in this one. He sounded like closer to the mic or something, like really up front. They'd throw a couple curveballs for you in this track. So it was still an interesting listen. Just my least favorite of what I've heard so far. But, you know, these things definitely change and grow the more I listen. So it'll be interesting to see how that one grows with me. Okay, it looks like next we got Ful Stop. Let's give it a try. When they're longer building up intros here.
should I be good if you're not?
Okay. I am curious to see where this one goes because I'm not really liking this one so far. It's just not really grabbing me. It's for a first listen, it's fine, right? But I just as if this is how the song's going to be, I can't see myself going back to um this song, but let's just see what happens.
This is a foul tasting medicine. Foul tasting medicine. To be trapped in your full stop.
Okay. Okay.
Take me back, take me back, take me
Okay. That one is bordering on the first Radiohead song I don't like. I don't know if I can go quite that strong to say I don't like it because I think if I was listening to this album like I am now, in the full context of it, I'm not like so deeply offended by it that I'm going to skip it. I'm going to listen to it and appreciate the whole thing and take it in the context of the album. But I just don't really like I told you, I didn't like that first part of it. I don't like that it took us 3 minutes to then get to the next part that I did like. And then even that idea kind of just hung on longer than I liked. Like, this is cool right here, I like. But then it just kind of hangs for a really long time. And I'm not like I'm not like against the idea of staying on an idea for a long time. One of my favorite bands is Opeth, and they will stay on an idea for a super long time, like an obnoxious amount of time. The difference is when they do it, I like it because it's usually something really sticky or catchy, and then they'll pull it away right when they think it's been too long. And I just feel like, for my personal taste in this track, it's just like this idea. I would like it for like a minute. I would like it for about like a minute, even a minute and a half. We could try it, but this goes on for a while. And I just don't think what's going on here is like interesting enough for my taste. It's going to make me want to go back to this song. Like I said, the second half change up is nice, but I just feel like that song just lingers on those ideas too long for my taste, to the point where I almost don't like that song. I don't know if that's another one I might not be revisiting. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my take on that one for now. Maybe my opinion will change with time. We'll see. Okay, next we got Glass Eyes. Wow, that's really pretty so far. The keys remind me of something you'd hear on like Minecraft.
Hey, it's me. I just got off the train. A frightening place. The faces are concrete gray, and I'm wondering, should I turn around? Buy another ticket. The panic is coming on strong, so cold from the inside out. No grid drama, message coming in on the oh so small, glassy-eyed light of day, glassy-eyed light of day.
Very pretty.
The path trails off and heads down the mountain through the
Nice.
dry bush. I don't know where to lead, and I don't really care.
This one's really well done.
The path trails off and heads down the mountain through the dry bush. I don't know where to lead, and I don't really care. I feel this
Another time, I don't think he's going to deliver the line like that, and then he does. It was cool. Okay, I really liked that track. The emotions in that one are really masterfully caught, you know? Like, you know, if I'm ever in a certain type of mood, I could definitely see myself listening to this and really, really feeling it. Really beautiful mix of the piano, the vocal delivery, and the strings in this one. They just all really come together in unison and capture a really good feel. It's a really, really beautiful track. Yeah, that's one of the highlight tracks so far in this one. I would put this up there with the first few tracks that I was liking as well. That was really, really pretty. Yeah, that's another one. I'm trying not to repeat myself, but I was just thinking that's another one that I could see myself, you know. They just put so many nuggets in their music that I feel like you have to listen to it so many times to catch everything and really appreciate it. And in that way, they're not really the best first listen reaction band. but I think I will appreciate this even more going forward. It's probably just going to be a common theme with most of these. Um, okay, so for the next one here, we got Identikit. Let's give it a shot. It's an interesting tone to the guitar.
Sweet-faced ones with nothing left inside, that we all can love, that we all can love, that we all. Sweet-faced ones with nothing left inside, that we all can love, that we all can love, that we all. When I see you messing me around, I don't want to know, I don't want to know, I don't want. When I see you messing me around, I don't want to know, I don't want to know, I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Broken hearts make it rain.
Oh, very tasty bass.
Hearts make it rain. Broken 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 hearts.
Oh, nice. I like this. The synths and the vocals cool.
Pieces of a wrecked old mankind that we can create, that we can create, that we can. The pieces of a wrecked old mankind that we can create, that we can create. When I see you missing me around, I don't want to know, I don't want to know, I don't want. When I see you missing me around, I don't want to know,
I like the delivery. Kind of stepped out of that, even in this real low pocket. Oh. Okay. Oh, crap. Let's back up a little bit here.
that we all can love, that we all. I don't want broken hearts make it rain. Broken heart when I see you messing me around.
I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. In that track, there's definitely ideas that are I'm liking, right? Like what I have selected right here. But the overall track, with just the way it's so pulls back and subdued, and kind of stand on some of these ideas, it's like it's just not. Again, like it's not bad to me. It's inoffensive. It's not like it's like a bad idea. It's just not really like grabbing me. Like I'm just not sure if that's something I'm gonna be like dying to put back on, you know. And I don't like that this is how I felt about a few songs on this album so far. But I just have to be honest, you know, and that's kind of what I'm feeling on these last few. Besides that ballad before this, that was pretty great. But these, whatever style you want to call this, these types of tracks are just, I don't know. Like I said, I can appreciate certain ideas in it, but the entire track as a whole is just not really hitting me the way I would expect. So that's really all I could say about that one. The guitar section was kind of cool. Like this, I mean. Just something different. I don't love the way it sounds, but it is something different. I feel like I'm looking around this track trying to just say something more positive, but I think I kind of just have to leave it there. There's just a couple ideas in it that I like, but just don't enjoy it completely. We'll see if I come back to it. Let's keep it moving. Okay, we got The Numbers next. This is really nice. Very pleasant intro.
Holds us like a phantom. It touches like a breeze. Shares this understanding.
I like that matchup with the piano there.
See the moon smiling.
Yeah, really pleasant soundscape so far. Oh, nice. It's very cool.
Open on a channel, ready to receive.
Bass coming in too.
We're not at the mercy of your shimmers and spells. Your shimmers and spells.
All right, this is a really pleasant group so far. It's like how I've complimented them in the past, where they can bring all their instruments together and they all have space to exist where you can hear them clearly and with a lot of definition. And that's the way I feel so far. The vocals, the acoustic guitar, the bass, and the piano all are coming together in a really powerful way to create the feel for this song. But they're also, you can hear each individually. And if you try to focus in on one of them, you can just kind of jam out to that too. So really, really pleasant start to this song.
We are here to hold your tongue. The future is inside us. It's not somewhere else. It's not somewhere else. It's not somewhere else.
Nice. I think this is a perfect example of what I was talking about before, about hanging on ideas. This is a perfect example of here's an idea that I like for my taste that they hung on for a while. I just find it nicer. And this transition's nice too. I'm going to back it up a little bit here.
It's not somewhere else. It's not somewhere else.
This feels like something that would be pleasant to listen to in the morning. Nice. I really like that. Powerful. Hello. That's cool.
The numbers don't decide. The system runs alive.
Feels like the strings were talking.
The wings are gonna fly.
Nice.
Pass away like soon, like a pretty broken flower.
You hear that bass down there too?
Take back what is ours. Take back what is ours.
Very cool outro. Wow, that's so weird. Like, that's like unsettling to me, the way that just closes out like that. Yeah, that one's in contention for my favorite on the album. Like I said, I just really love that idea that they hung on. I thought it was really, really nice and just pleasant. like I said, it sounds like something I could listen to in the morning and just enjoy. Like, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what this song's about, because to me it just feels like this just feels like some like everything's gonna be all right type vibes. And like I said, this is probably some of the best mixing and choice of instruments for my taste that I heard on this album so far. Just everything came together really, really nicely, and those strings that they add in were really cool. Like I said, it sounds like the strings are like talking to you. The way that they're like, whatever that line is, it's really cool. Love the delivery. Love the delivery of that line. Yeah, this song just kind of had the magic. Yeah, that one's definitely like a playlist type song. That's one I could just enjoy just as its own piece of music. Let it take me on a journey. That's definitely one I'll be visiting again. Really, really pleasant song. Okay, so we got Present Tense up next. We're getting close to the end of the album here. I haven't checked, and I'm going to check real quick. I'm curious to see the streams on this one and just like kind of what songs are resonating the most. So Burn the Witch looks like it's the most streamed out here. Daydreaming. Okay, so Desert Island Disc is one of the least streamed. Full Stop. Okay, this is the Minecraft song. Okay, so no curveballs there. It does look like so this one here, the next one we're going to listen to is kind of has a bump after the middle section of this album. I'm going to stop looking at this now. Let's go back to the lyrics and let's just get into Present Tense here. Like I said, we're at the end of the album. I'm curious to see how this thing closes out, and then we'll give our closing thoughts on it. But let's go with Present Tense here. I like this. Really cool intro. Nice change up here. Like the layered guitars. Nice little drum change. There's a lot going on in this part. It's especially with those vocals in the right ear. Okay, now it kind of drops out. This is really pretty. You know what's an interesting thing I just want to point out real quick? It just popped into my mind. The singer's voice sounds so similar to how it sounded like 20 years ago. Maybe Radiohead fans who are like super fans notice a difference in the voice more than I do, but like this sounds so similar to what I've heard from the other stuff, and I'm just a little surprised. I feel like naturally the voice is going to change a little bit after such a long period of time, but he sounds like, to my ear, he sounds exactly the same. Oh wait, you know what? I think I remember reading some of the songs on here were like from old ideas. Maybe they're using old recordings, or like parts of it were recorded. I don't know. I might be wrong at all. That I'm just going to leave that string of thoughts alone.
All this love will be in vain. A step from falling down the line. It's no one's business but mine. All this love has been in vain.
Really pleasant.
You are lost. You are lost. You are lost. In you I'm
Okay. So that's present tense. So that was another one of the better songs on the album. Probably my favorite guitar work of any of the tracks. It's just a really pleasant groove they stayed in for a lot of this. I really liked the vocals on this one too. Yeah, that guitar layering was really, really nice.
a step from falling down the line. It's no one's business.
God, those vocals in the back are so freaking cool. Yeah, and I kind of mentioned this a lot, but like they get a melancholy feel in their songs and a bit of a haunting vibe, but it's also got that prettiness, like the contrast of the two that you could feel at the same time in the track is always really cool. So I appreciate that particular feeling in any song, and definitely from Radiohead. Yeah, drums did a great job on this one too. I just like the overall tempo and feel of that one. Definitely one of the better ones to me. That's another one I can see myself just enjoying, like just throw it on, enjoy it outside the context of the album, just jam out. Yeah, that was one of the better ones for sure. Okay, we're going to keep it moving. We got Tinker, Tailor, Soldier. I'm sorry. What is this? Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Sailor, Rich Man. I can't finish. Okay. Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Sailor, Rich Man, Poor Man, Beggar Man, Thief. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Let's see what this is. Interesting sound effects. that piano tone. Sounds like something like coming off a oven or like a hot pan. This is a cool idea.
All the holes at once are coming alive, set free. Out of sight, not a mind lonely, and their the ones you light your fires to keep away, crawling out upon its belly, and all you have to do is say,
I really like this idea that I got going. Cool.
stay up in the trees, all the fish swim down to the deep only, and their prey constantly.
This song's kind of all over the place, the drums and piano were. This other piano, not the main one. I like that. Nice. That's cool. A little bit of a freaky outro. Nice. Still got a lot of time left here. All right, that one was pretty interesting. Probably my favorite, if not my favorite, one of my favorite moments with the use of strings. just really cool, interesting sounds. And like I like that they mix it up where it's like it gets a little chaotic, a little like fun, like it's kind of going all over the place trying to be interesting, and then it just hits you with like a really emotional moment in there, like emotional notes. I don't know how to describe it better, but it's like those ones that kind of just hit you right in the gut. Like that, like that. Okay, like that. I think that's really cool. And like I said, I really liked. I don't know what the like. It doesn't even matter. Whatever the effect, the way you can like dole out the piano like that. It doesn't matter what it's called, but like it's cool. I thought I really liked it and how they kind of stood on that. I did like that. So to me, this is probably the best, like of the super subdued tracks on the album in this kind of style. This was probably my favorite one of those. Like, it's just really interesting to me. And it developed really nicely too. Another one that I can see is a grower. I don't know how to probably really describe my feelings on that one. It's just because I don't really hear many songs like that. But I thought that was a pretty damn cool track. Trying to think if there's anything else I really have to say. I do, but I just feel like yeah, just another very interesting soundscape chosen. Whatever that like popping thing that sounds like a pan to be. Yeah, and I think I was gonna say too. I think there were some vocals going along with the strings at parts of this that definitely add as part of the atmosphere. It's not like it's just strings by itself. Yeah, that was a really cool kind of not the ending track, but tracks at the end of the album here. So that was very cool. Okay, so I guess we're closing this thing out. Like I always say, these things go by so damn fast. But here we are. So True Love Waits is the closer here. So let's see how it is. Vocals came in fast. I really like the piano here and the kind of paying attention to the lyrics here. God, the fucking piano. You could really feel it in that line. Cool. Cool Srugware, great delivery. Just hits. The piano does. The lyrics too. Your tiny hands. Okay, this man is clearly fucking hurting on this track. Yeah, this is some of the most like painful and sad lyrics I feel like I've heard, just in general from Radiohead. Um, but they're delivering it great. They're letting you kind of come into their mental space here.
You're crazy kid and smile. Don't leave. Don't leave. True love waits. In haunted attics, and true love lives on lollipops and crisps. Just don't leave. Don't leave.
Hmm. Wow, what a way to end the album. I mean, what a freaking sad sounding song there. I liked the song. Probably the saddest song I've heard from them. I think I might be forgetting one off the top of my head. The lyrics are obviously paint the picture of what's going on, and then musically, I don't think you could really pick like a better just instrumental to fit the mood of what's going on there. Like I said, I like the overall piano lick, and that step down just fucking hits you in the soul. It's like gut wrenching. Like that's what sadness feels like to me. Like, let's see if we can catch it.
I'm just killing time.
That right there. It's just like, and he's bearing his soul on this track. The little nuggets at the background are definitely cool additions too, but I appreciate all the space that is given in this track. There's really no long intro, right? He gets right into it. And you can feel it. It's one of the better vocal performances on the album. That was a good track. So I guess really now it's time to give our thoughts on the whole album, right? Let me fix this over here. Well, I guess this isn't fixed because you guys can't see the. I can see a little bit of the track, not really, but I'm just looking at it more for me, right? A Moon Shaped Pool. So that was a Moon Shaped Pool, their newest studio album. It was really up and down first listen, right? I thought it had a really strong start with the first few songs here, Burn the Witch, Daydreaming. And that middle section was like just it just really wasn't for me for a lot of it. But then things kind of come back at the end here for the final few tracks. And I really did like the where they did kind of get a little more lively and incorporate the guitar parts. I really did like that. I think the overall direction of the album is really interesting. Maybe some of you guys can tell me in the comments if they've ever spoken about kind of deciding this is where they were going to go next in their discography and their journey as musicians, because it's a completely different vibe than from what I've heard from them before. Definitely super stripped back, a very raw album, a very like I've said a lot of times, subdued and spacey in terms of giving space between lyrics and instruments, and kind of sitting on ideas longer. I feel like there's less bouncing all over the place than some of the other albums here. But like I said, when they do transitions, a lot of them are really good transitions on this album. Um, as always, they have really interesting sounds all throughout it. This is really pretty too. Yeah, the drums are really subdued in this one. A lot less guitar overall, but I really love how the piano became a lot more important in this album, and it does a great job of setting the tone. A lot of beautiful parts, a lot of different sounds for the piano too. I can't believe I haven't mentioned yet. The use of the strings in this album is really fucking good. Really, really good. Brings something different. And it's not just there like without purpose, every time they pop up they add something to the song. A lot of cool like choir effects in here too, and a couple of those really weird, like I said, kind of scary ass outros too, and they always have good outros, but a little bit of like a scary ass outro in a few of those songs. So like I said, it was really like, I'm kind of trying to take it all in. It's always hard after doing a first listen, it's so much music. Like I said, there's a few of these tracks I probably will not revisit. They're bordering on I straight up do not like them, but there's more songs that I do like. I just don't know if this is going to be an album from them that I'm just going to spin all the way through nearly as much as the other ones. Maybe on a very rare occasion, I'll go through here and say I want to listen to the entire thing, but for the most part, I'm going to pick the songs I do like out of here. And out of 11, probably looking at like six. 6 to 7 that I do like and would listen to just on my own time. And so that's probably what I'll do is I'll take those and add them. I'm the problem I'm having is I have so many Radiohead songs that I'm enjoying. I think I'm gonna have to make like an artist playlist of just Radiohead, because I don't want Radiohead to overshadow everything else in my other mood or mixed playlists. And so I'll probably be adding this into my Radiohead playlist, a few of the songs off here. Like I said, probably about 6 or 7 to them. If this album was a little bit shorter, like if we just took a little bit off of it, for my personal taste, this would probably be closer in ranking to how I view the other 3 albums. But I think overall, this didn't reach the heights of those records. It didn't really give me that same magic feeling that the other 3 I've listened to. Like I said, that was Kid A, In Rainbows, and OK Computer. It didn't quite reach that, but we still have some really, really terrific moments on really the first quarter of the album, and like the last quarter, and some stuff sprinkled in there. So it's not to say it's like a horrible album or something. There's a lot of really good moments of brilliance, and I appreciate the direction they took on this album overall. I think no one's going to be mad that they gave us more songs, more kind of like ballads, more kind of laid back tracks. It's something, it's additive to their discography, right? And I do think this is a record I'm going to like more on future spins, especially if I'm listening to the other ones all the time, right? This is such a different change of pace here, that it kind of gives you a break from what you're used to hearing from them, as far as the other stuff. But this makes me interested to keep going on this journey with Radiohead and see what else their other albums sound like, because I still have Amnesiac, Hail to the Thief, I believe is the other one, The Bends, which I know that's another one that's really recommended. What's the other one? King of Limbs or something. So I still got a lot of their albums to go through, and I think it would be fun once we complete the discography if I did a ranking of personal taste, just how I view the albums. So we're gonna keep going on this journey. Their music always has a lot to offer here. I'm gonna spin this one back a lot here, and I'll let you guys know if my opinion of it becomes more positive, which I would probably wager it will. That's just how it goes when I listen to these things, right? just too much to digest in one first listen to really appreciate all the moments. I don't really want to give it like a letter grade or a number grade or anything like that. Um, but it's a solid album with some strong highlights. I just don't enjoy it as much, um, as what we've heard from them. Um, but yeah, where do you guys think I should go next? Maybe the Bends, Amnesiac. I am going to do the live reaction to I think it's In Rainbows live at the basement or in the basement. So you guys let me know what you want to hear next here. Thanks again for all your comments. I read every single one of them. I try to reply to a lot of them too. I just appreciate you guys watching here. Hopefully you don't get pissed that I didn't like this one as much, but like I said, I always got to be honest. Um, and like I said, there's still a lot of good standout tracks here. So that's going to be it for now. Like I said, let me know where you think we should go next. I hope you guys are having a good day, great week, and we will take it from there. Thanks for tuning in.